Welcome back to the channel, folks. I am in tropical North Queensland, coming to you today from Cairns, and I'm here to speak to a couple of legends, Roy and Jordan Kunda. They've got an amazing tale. Before we get started, though, and I'll please do us a favour. If you enjoy the content, just hit subscribe, give us a thumbs up. The reason that's really important is the algorithms in the back, all that voodoo magic, helps other adventure writers find our channel. So that'd be a big help. If you're listening on our podcast, just hit follow so you don't miss any of our future episodes. First of all, gents, thank you so much for agreeing to have a yarn today. I really appreciate it.
Our pleasure, mate. It's good to see you.
Now, Roy's dad, Jordan's son. The reason that I wanted to, or Rosco and I wanted to do this episode is that the Cape York is so iconic. And it's iconic, especially so for adventure riders. And I think often people get a little bit bogged down when they start thinking about going and doing it. I get bogged down in, they've seen some vision of the telly track and bikes going underwater and deep sand and bull dust, and they start wondering whether it's a bit too difficult. But I sort of think that's not the hurdle at all. The difficulty is not the hurdle. It's having someone with local knowledge and experience that can help guide you through the Cape. But is that fair enough?
100%. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, the knowledge of, where to go and not go. Submission.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I'm fascinated, and that's really the reason that we wanted to do this, is because there's no one else. I'm going to give you a massive rap here, Roy, but this, Cape York motorcycle adventure's been running now for nearly 36 years. I think that makes you the oldest motorcycle tour company in Australia. Would that be right?
Sure, nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So when we were thinking about doing some sort of episode on the Cape, you are the natural fit, because I don't know if there's another person or another couple of people that know the Cape quite like you guys. So thanks again. Thanks for having a yarn to us today. Mate, take us back to the beginning. I read your book. If you haven't read it before, King of the Cape, it's a really good read, mate. I really enjoyed it. I've got in that book, it talks about you living in country Victoria. You had a map of the Cape on your bedroom wall, and as a young bloke, you used to look at it and sort of think about going to the Cape.
Yeah, that was, my goal was to, hump the Cape and right up there one day.
Yeah, right. And if that map hadn't been there, do you reckon you'd still end up being here today?
Yeah, look, I don't know where I end up, but I'm pretty sure I would be.
Yeah.
I love the topics. And, mainly, the top end of Australia just offers so much.
Yeah.
Adventure.
Yep. Because isn't it right? And Jordan, you jump in any time, although this is the early days before you were around, mate, but isn't it right that you sort of took off from Victoria with correct me if I'm wrong, but couldn't get a bit of lap, or was it all about the Cape?
Well, no, it wasn't. It was definitely about the Cape, to come and do the Cape.
Yep.
But I wanted to continue around Australia, because in my mind I just wanted to know, is there another Cape, a better place, or that just to make sure that it was, as good as Jordan, and didn't disappoint at all.
Didn't disappoint. So what year was that, mate? What are we talking?
That was back in 86.
Yeah, right.
86. I left for on my Tenere.
Yeah.
XC 500, and went for 600, Victoria, and went for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Scanned a good 3 months stuff on the Cape.
Yeah.
Having a good look around. Done all the iconic cats like the Birdsville and the Hero of the Road, of course the Cape and Calicut and all that. It's the gun barrel. And I never got to do the canning. I have to get back to it.
Well, yeah.
But that was,
And so after that lap, was there a moment in your mind where you said, right, I know I'm going to do it?
Yeah,
the business.
the business. No, I had the idea before I left. But I sort of went back and tried it up at home for 6 months, and
Yeah.
it just worked and got me fit together.
Yeah. Yeah.
A couple of bikes, and I was racing Euros, started racing Euros back then, so I had an old HK youth,
Yeah.
and put my tenor in and a CR just dipped in back and these belongings,
Yeah.
and he's up.
Wow. Geez, yeah, that's amazing. So, mate, what about early days? I understand you met your wife, Renee,
Yep.
when you moved up here. She's an hairdresser.
That's right.
And she's been quite an influence on the company growing. I know that you've, for viewers that don't know, you've won lots of awards.
Yes, absolutely. She's done an amazing job with it. She's put us on the map because nobody knew it was a new venture with the motorcycle tours in Australia, let alone in the world. But so it was very hard to, you know, get permits in national park because it wasn't written. Get banks to finance a fleet.
Yeah.
That wasn't it, they lend you money to buy a fleet of Land Cruisers, but
Yeah.
they're all flustered when you go a fleet of motorbikes, or it was
Fire.
yeah, right. So just get all those things, and then playing the game, with national parks and setting standards with eco certification, all the environmental issues, which is great.
Yep.
Which you have to respect the area you go to.
Yeah.
But you need some sort of how can I say, some sort of certificate to say that you understand and you're applying to all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And condition from communities and stuff like that. So yeah, he's done a lot of that for the business over the years that really helped us.
Well, I met her in Brisbane after the Tourism Awards when we won the gold award there. And Jordan, you're going over
to Fremantle on Wednesday.
On Wednesday.
Yeah.
And what's that? That's
like the Australian tourism.
Is it?
Yeah.
So once you win gold in the state, you go to
the nationals.
So the goal is to get 2 gold medals, and
that'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And mate, Jordan, you grew up in this environment, so you were literally born into this environment.
Yeah.
What about, I suppose it was just normal life, mate, but was there a moment where you thought, I want to be a tour leader like Dad?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was always the goal. I remember every day waiting at the front of the shed, waiting for Dad to get back on tour, because back where we lived in the beach, we're right on the highway, so every car going past, I'm like, see if I can hear motorbikes coming, and I'm sitting there kicking footies on the basketball, waiting, and it's like every time I hear a motorbike go past, I'm like, nope, not in. And then when it finally does come up, it's like, you see all the guys coming in, they've just been up the Cape, they're all covered in the dust and mud and that, and they're all coming back celebrating and all that sort of stuff. So I pretty much knew that right from the start.
And you wanted to do it. Now, how old were you when you went on your first trip?
The first trip I did was 10. So that always took us up as little kids.
Yeah. Okay.
Just on like the holiday weekend, week away at the Cape. So
I've seen him up there and the family, I've probably spent
your holidays.
The holiday.
So you worked there and then you spent your holidays there.
You didn't have to look after my kids and that. But just staying up on close to a couple of weeks and then doing long, No, great.
Yeah. So my first actual trip was I was 10, and Dad was driving a support vehicle. So I was on school holidays at the time, so I tagged along in the truck, and
nice.
It was good to see it from that angle because I'd never seen an actual tour before like that. So yeah, it was really cool.
Mate, you have to, look, we were talking yesterday. So these guys took me out yesterday on Great Barrier Reef. We went fishing. That's why my head's the colour that it is. So my new nickname's a Red Emperor. Mate, you were telling me yesterday about, I guess, the first time you had to lead a tour.
Oh, yeah.
You were sort of thrown into it.
Yep.
Now, I know not all tours are like this, right? Let's start by saying it's not all like this.
Yeah,
But do you want to tell a little bit about that?
yeah. So the crab track.
So for the viewers and that, just explain the crab track.
Yeah, okay. So the crab track, it stands for Cairns Regional Electricity Board.
Yeah.
So that's where they started bringing power through into the communities and further along up the Cape.
Yeah.
So that's sort of where all the way to Cairns. So we use that all like 19.
Cut.
A long time ago.
Years and years ago when they first started bringing power through. So yeah, it's when you look at it, they probably could have picked a better place to put a power line through.
I couldn't have figured that out.
I know now,
It's the most awesome track.
but back then when you think about what they actually had to do that,
That
it was
cut
pretty
with a
It's
hard,
pretty epic.
straight through the middle of the Daintree rainforest. It's
hard,
pretty
yeah,
pretty mad.
absolutely epic.
Yeah.
But steep hills, and it's all just hard packed clay,
Yes.
all off camber corners, and when it's dry, it's like a motocross track. It is awesome.
Yeah.
When it's wet, it is treacherous,
Yeah.
which is where the story starts.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had a bit of an injury with one of the guys. So I was looking after him at the back, and I was waiting for the lead rider because I wasn't actually a tour guide at the time.
Yeah.
Dad had a bunch of stuff that he had to get organised before going on the trip. So I was running sweat for the first day of that tour. He was going to meet us up at the wine stand.
Cooktown line, then
Yeah.
first night.
Yeah. So so once Jake, the lead rider, came back, I said, look, this guy's got a concussion. I've got to take him back to where we get cell service. Yeah. So I can bought an ambo. And no, he goes, no, I've got the sat phone and the med kit. I'll take him back. All you got to do is take the boys through the crab, piece of this. And I went, okay, because I didn't know any better at the time. So riding through, I'll start noticing that it's getting pretty slippery. All right, no worries, I'll catch up with the boys in a minute here. And I get around one of the corners and I just look up one of the hills and there's just bikes everywhere. And they're all trying to carry them up, push them up. So I yell out to the fellas. I was like, all right, bring them down and you guys start walking and I'll ride them up.
Yeah.
And that was like the third hill on the crab track and there's about 70 of them. Wow. So that was at like
Yes. At
30 in the afternoon.
1:30 in the afternoon. Now I know we probably haven't got time to go through the whole thing, but you were telling me yesterday how come about there's 30 or more of those hills to get through.
Yeah.
So fast forward now, mate, it's after midnight.
Yep.
And I remember you saying you could the headlights.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we got to the halfway point. At about midnight. I knew that there was cell service at the top of the hill, so I got my bike up the top there. But when I got there, I had the guys in front of me, so I was just helping them wait.
Yeah.
Got to that hill, and there was it was pitch black, and all I could see is just like 14 DR headlights pointing in all random directions on this hill. And so it took me a couple of hours to get the bikes up the top. Made a phone call to Dad. Said I'm not gonna be able to get the boys out of here tonight. His famous line was, "What are you going to roll over the die?" That made me very angry, but it gave me the energy that I needed to incentive to keep that. Anyway, so once I got the boys up on top of the hill, we start going back down, and I seen Dad's headlight coming down the way, and he was covered in mud too, so it wasn't.
Yeah.
If he's coming off on the crab as well, then either he's going to lies in a little bit too long, or it's just difficult to run.
Yeah.
So everybody's just head to toe in mud, and from there, me and Dad sort of play a game of musical chairs where one of the boys would drop a bike and here, take this one, keep going, and
wow.
Anyway, we got to the line down at about 2:30 in the morning.
That's how it mate. What an introduction. So
that was my first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could all get bad real big up here.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, on a crab, any rain, and it's, as I said, it's treacherous. I remember, like a lot of other people, I did the Cape. I didn't really do the Cape. I did it on a Africa twin, but I was spooked because I was on my own, and I really would love to do it properly, but I just basically did the developing road, a little bit of off-road stuff, North Cooktown. But even for me, it was a bit silly, mate.
Yeah.
Is there one part of the Cape that you prefer or like more than the rest?
Tell me about
Tell me about
it. It's just absolute food.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's not really anything.
it's
Other than that,
and it's
Yeah.
just a lot of fun.
yeah.
It's safe because you're in that sort of country where you can see well ahead. That is stepping up pussy turns in washouts and creases and sections, you know, the technical deal to just keep you enjoying the whole way.
Yeah.
It's just fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, in fact, it has to be. There's when you look at all the other tracks around the Cape, the Telegraph track has that in it.
Yeah,
Element
that's
to it.
right.
So
They're all up there. Crib Cat, the Frenchman's, you know, the Starkies hard work,
Yeah.
but you know what? It's a good neat track. You know, they're all up there for the first ride. That's the most fun track. I think for motors is Canada.
Yeah, well done. And what about the company, mate? How's it evolved? You know, can you tell us how it's evolved over the years?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'll just take snippets and like um, uh, starting off on CC 350s, 600s. You know, like half a dozen.
Yeah.
Going to VRs and all the different manufacturers I've tried.
Yeah.
You know, at the time, the best horse for the course. You know, the XR 400s. You know, we got into them and. Then we got the TCR because that was first bike with electric start. It was the best thing since sliced bread.
it was super having to kickstart
Yeah,
everybody's
everyone.
bike.
Yeah, you pull up a lookout and you try and explain something. And this is where Cook, came and such and they're all running their bikes, and everyone's throwing on because they got a kick of it. Well, I'm going to go around and start. So that evolved. There's a lot of things that have evolved. The bikes. The road's certainly getting better up with PDR, which is the main New South development road.
Yeah.
But the tracks have always been the same.
Yeah, right.
So the tracks are actually getting worse because they're deteriorating without worse conditions and washouts and stuff like that. Road could bike riding. But they don't get maintained, so it is what it is. You know what I mean? You get a washout here, there'll be new track around that, and there'll be trees down or something like that. They don't get maintained. So the Tele track, the Frenchman's, Starkey, all those iconic tracks, they're always been, good trails that haven't changed. Whereas the PDR, there's, more sealed sections every year.
Yeah.
A lot more caravans than ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's caravans galore.
Yeah.
Going up there now. And with the new caravan, you see all the latest and greatest gear that goes up there, $250, $300 caravan.
Yeah.
Off-road man, everywhere, getting places where they've never been.
So maybe see them on their side.
I was just about to say, mate. I don't know if I'd be taking my tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, it's definitely evolved like everything else. It's like I say, the riding's always great because the tracks haven't evolved.
Yeah. And I guess what's it like with your clientele? So people come, they book a tour, they're all excited. What's the biggest challenge for you as a tour leader? Getting a group ready.
I think we call it first day fever.
Yeah.
So a lot of the guys that come, they've booked 12 months plus in advance.
Yeah.
And obviously they're asleep, waiting for the day.
Yeah.
And that day finally comes. So when they get here, they're full of energy and you can tell that they're just like, shaking. I'm ready to go. Sort of taking that out of them a little bit for the first day is like, get used to during our briefing and stuff like that.
Briefing here, and set the rules. Very simple.
Yeah.
Relay sections, that sort of thing. Just make it all flow. But they're looking straight through you, they're not even listening because they just
They want to get involved.
just want to give them the right.
Yeah.
And so the hardest thing is just getting that out of them the first day.
Yeah.
Is the hardest thing, I think.
Yeah.
And once they settle in, they need that fix. By lunchtime, who's in the zoo. Some guys that are going a little bit too hard, you sort of remind them that they got people to get it for the next 6 days.
Yeah.
Marathon, not a sprint, we always tell them.
You want to be there at the end.
Yeah.
Don't spoil your trip because you've been waiting so long for it. So that's probably the hardest thing to get through to Sean. The other thing I'd say is you get vast majority of rider capabilities. I mean, difference
Yeah.
in the rider capabilities, like you say. So when you get a group that book, a group of friends, they're usually on a stand, a similar level to each other. There might be adventure rock riders that all want to do this, or there might be, zero riders that want to do it at club or something like that. You'll have a certain thing, and that's the easy part, right? It doesn't matter if they're experts or novice, as long as they're all at close to that level.
Yes.
The hard part is when we get, half a dozen,
Young riders.
like, as riders,
Yeah.
and then you have half a dozen that just got their lot. I mean, they're first
They're nice.
novices, and trying to keep everybody happy, which we do. We split the group.
Yeah.
And it's not ideal, but it works for everybody.
Yeah.
So you're not taking away from one or the other.
Yeah.
Or pushing the other to go beyond their capability. But yeah, so that's the only other one I'd sort of say is the only thing. Otherwise, everything else is everyone there to have a good time.
Yeah.
We showed in the paper and makes up look good.
Yeah.
And the good guys at the end of the day just had a great day and sit down and campfire and have a beer.
Well, campfires. We were talking about this yesterday too, but a campfire is a wonderful thing, isn't it?
It's a great thing.
Yeah.
The bush talent.
Yeah. And it's. Would you say it brings? Well, I think it's a given. It brings riders together who might not know each other.
Yeah.
They might not all know each other.
Yeah, so that's what comes into when you have the difference in the group levels and stuff like
Yes.
that. Everybody's on the same level when you're sitting around a campfire having a beer. Everybody's laughing about what happened during the day, and everybody have a little laugh at each other. And
It's a
stuff
feeling
like that.
thing, It's a lot of the guys have never camped out, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I know I've never camped out under the stars before.
Yeah,
I've
seeing
been
the
in the
stars.
Yeah.
Living in the big city.
being in the
and stuff.
tropics.
Yeah.
Being in the tropics, and we tend to do that, and it's and I always say like half the tour is probably around the campfire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's a great experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
And telling jokes and stories.
Yeah. That's right. You're saying yesterday that one of your what do you call it, techniques or your secrets is to ask who's got a joke.
Oh, to get the ball rolling, you can't sing in one joke, but if you ask around and somebody starts a joke, and that just gets it all going around.
Yeah. I just remembered all the
And
ones.
it creates your mind, and you come up with, feel and what goes up from there.
It's also a good way of getting an insight on like what is acceptable to say and what isn't.
Yeah.
Depending on what kind of
Pretty
jokes
much.
come out around the campfire.
Or what about memorable moments? Like, can you think of a moment where you saw a rider, just get it? Or does that happen frequently? Or
It's not frequent, but it happens. Yeah, it happens.
You definitely notice it when it does start happening.
Yeah.
You'll be riding a sweep. So you do the guy at the back, making sure everybody's getting through, and you might get to like a really sandy section. These guys have never lived in sand before, so they're just struggling along your way, right? So when you help them pick their bike up, give them a quick tip. Hey mate, let's try this next time, because you don't want to go. Here's the full method of how to ride sand.
Yeah.
Once, because that won't work.
Yeah.
Just go follow that, and I'll see you at the next tour.
Yeah.
When you drop it again.
Yeah.
Or you see, so it's like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Yeah.
Some guys will listen and start buying it. Some guys are too scared, right? They don't have the confidence to try it because you're too much telling them with sand, a little bit more gas, or you want to roll it for a long and you get in trouble, and that goes against the
Scary.
Yeah, right.
It's quite rewarding. You see them improve over the course of the week.
Yeah.
Starting at the back of the pack, and then by the end of the week they're at the front of the mid pack. You can see that level of improvement, and I feel like they love the tour to people more than anything.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, they their confidence, and you get to enjoy it.
Yeah. And I guess for the super, I think it means more to someone that really has to push themselves when they finally get to the top than it would a super confident rider that, easy.
Yeah,
easy.
100%.
Yeah.
It feels like they've accomplished something. You know?
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
little aspect of being
Very rewarding, absolutely. Like, you know, yeah, there's a great sense of achievement when you're at the top there and shake your hands, you just take a photo next to a sign. It's
yeah,
yeah,
tears sometimes.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that's how the trip we call the bucket list trip, because it's on everybody's bucket list, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes it's the last thing to tick off before they do it on, you know?
Yep.
So it's like the last thing to tick off on the bucket list,
Yeah.
and they made it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty awesome to see that.
That's pretty cool.
yeah.
Listen, if we might be a good spot there just to we'll end this part A. We're going to make this a 2-part series. So we'll finish up now. Let me just finish though by, I didn't address the elephant in the room. Roscoe's not here. So normally I'm doing this with Roscoe, and Roscoe was absolutely pumped about coming up for this particular episode, because especially when he knew that you guys were going to take us out fishing. He's a keen fisherman.
Well, next time.
Next time maybe, but for me, it's a thing of beauty, mate, because I get to show him the photos now of our fish. And I'll put the photos up so you can see our day out yesterday. It was absolutely spectacular, and I've been rubbing it into Roscoe ever since, and he's not too happy. So, folks, again, if you enjoy the content, like, subscribe. Otherwise, we'll see you in part 2 with Roy and Jordan. Cheers.